Alright, well, hey everyone, I'm GVirus, and I'm going to be attempting a speedrun at this game that I haven't played in a long time, and I've been trying to de-rust for the past 2 days. Your mileage may very much vary. It's called Biomiracle Bokutte Upa. Funny enough, one of our community members in Quebec, Ben Sly, organized a tournament for this. But if you go on speedrun.com and check it out, you'll see that there's a lot of Quebec flags on the leaderboard, and that's the reason why this happened. It was actually a very fun tournament, so big shout-outs to Ben Sly and everyone in the No Reset Speedrun community for, making this happen. And that's basically how I played this game more seriously than just using the bootleg cartridge I had as a kid titled Baby Mario, which is what a lot of people know this game as, but it has nothing to do with Mario. In fact, it's a Konami game. So yeah, without further ado, let's start any percent in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we're a baby, and we're just, shaking that toy at, various enemies. So, what's interesting about this game is that, yes, it is about speed because we're doing a speed run, but now if you pick up this item, the baby suddenly knows how to not only walk, but run. But otherwise, his main attack, basically, when you hit an enemy, they start floating, but they also become a platform that you can walk on. And a lot of the speedrun is basically based on optimizing your movement and your platform placement as you move through the stages, and also as they start floating forward, I guess you get part of the scroll speed forward along with your natural movement speed stacked, so you go a little bit faster. And this is basically the mini boss that's in a lot of the levels, and very straightforward stuff. These guys are not putting up much of a big fight, and I'm guessing there's more optimal placement for that boss, but we're playing it by ear today. This is a live de-rust, or VOD de-rust, as it were.
Slightly delayed.
Yeah, exactly. So here, it's the level where the baby gets type 2 diabetes, essentially. Oh yeah. How the game doesn't end there with the food just being the baby being in a food coma is beyond me. Because that's a lot of cake. Even for a full-size adult. And now you'll see how I'm going to be playing it safe. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. As I was saying I was going to play it safe, I killed So also when you hit, let's say they become a platform and then you punt them, then they start just, going all over the place. They can actually damage you back. You got to be careful about that. Which is kind of a reminder to myself, really, at this point. And I will be picking up power-ups along the way. Anything to kind of help me, get through the game. Health refills and whatnot. So there's a small bottle which I think replenishes 1 heart. There's a big bottle that replenishes all your hearts. And then there are hearts, which add hearts to your amount of lives you have. And because, here's the thing, in this level, once you go, everything is pretty much on a timer. But once you get off track, then everything just goes out of whack. And sometimes they'll go up before you like that, because as soon as you eat that piece of cake, then that talent is fair game for the enemies to move around. Now that's the pattern we want when we start the level. I'm not too knowledgeable of the RNG in this game and how it's being seeded and whatnot, but I'll try and, make this as painless as possible. Now, if I game over, it's not that big of a deal. That's also why the estimate is quite generous. But you only restart at the beginning of the world, which in this case would be a reset, because I'm still in World 1. And as long as you keep scrolling forward, then the enemy, obviously, they have a finite shelf life in terms of when they're floating horizontally, and that's the heart I mentioned. But otherwise, you can use them and just do some pretty good damage and get rid of anything that's in the way in this level. Come on, turn around. And you can turn around if you're up against the chest. You just want to get through 1-3 without dying. And basically, the the weapon in this game, when you hit an enemy, you can be right on top of them and it'll register. Which basically means you can land on them, and as you're landing on them, turn them into a platform. Also, the popsicle-looking thingies, I'm guessing that's a popsicle. They're sticky, so you have to jump 3 times. On the 3rd jump, then you'll get a full jump. I believe Simon Mackay has the world record on this right now. And that's the one you want to get. He comes in pretty fast, but if you get him right, then you can get over that platform a bit easily. There's a way to get that blue enemy basically to damage the boss, because if you hit the boss during its intro animation, so to speak, it goes through the whole intro animation, but then it still gets damaged. So we'll take it. Now, one of those chests will give you a 1-up. The other one will end the level. It's always the same one, I believe. That is not shuffled, so you can actually decide if you want an extra life. In this case, took it. And we'll try to get through World 2 with just 1 life. If you're looking for a pretty chill speed game to pick up, I highly recommend it, actually. It's, you know, at first, the advanced strats basically make you not... You're basically flying over big chasms like this. It's not as scary as it looks. And now, also, managing which enemies you hit is quite important, because see here, I had to wait for this one. If I didn't hit the previous one, which I do basically just out of reflex, then that one would have spawned earlier, because the blue flying guys, I'm pretty sure there can only be 2 on screen at a time. The game won't give you a 3rd one. That one despawned just in time, or if it's 3, it's a very tight window. Now those will fall. I'm just going to wait for the cycle here. Better safe than sorry. There's a way to pause buffer so it stays just a touch longer, so you can do it just in one fell swoop. But, you know. And back to the bacon. We had cake, now we're having bacon. That baby is not going to be healthy. Thought I had it. So far, so good. Just jinxed myself. Okay. We got this. This is fine. All in good fun. We're here for NES Block. We love NES Block. Baby can swim! A very important skill to teach toddlers, and, you know, at the earliest age. That one's a pretty straightforward level. Now you want to get here as fast as you can, because then you have a very small window to not get hit on the bounce back by that little blue guy. Now here there is, I believe, yeah. Full milk is just a full health refill, doesn't extend your life, but we'll take it. So I don't know what the max, like, mashing rate is to swim, but it doesn't seem to be that high, so you don't really have to kind of give yourself carpal tunnel to beat this level as fast as you can. Also, the shrimps, basically, they just beeline straight to you. So if there's a wall between you and them, or a platform, then you're good to go. And 2, 3. Sometimes when you have a floating enemy like that, when you hit them from underneath, you actually bonk as if it was a ceiling, so that's one way of falling into a pit when you don't mean to. I mean, you would rarely mean to fall into a pit in this game, because there's no candy in that pit either. That is the time stopper pickup. Pretty self-explanatory, everything stops moving. And now we're getting a snack boss. There's a way to just do this in one cycle, essentially, but now we're going to play it safe because I only have one life left. And the fire kind of sticks around, which... if you stop on that platform, then there's just a way for you to die. Because, yeah, I thought it would turn around, but it didn't. Okay, we still got one life. Try and do this. Oh, by the way, in here it's a bit tricky because you really have to wait for the balloon to spawn. It's very easy to just fall to your death by jumping a tad too early. And the window to hit the enemies from above is actually quite forgiving. So it's quite easy to pick up, which is one of the mechanics you're going to be using the most. So here, let's try this. That was a little bit too early. Alright, come closer. Go. And also, you can also pun the enemies at a diagonal, which comes very handy in later bosses. So that one's a 1-up. Pick it up. Alright. World 3, here we go. Music's pretty catchy, too. Yeah. It's a solid game, it really is. And now, everyone's favorite, ice physics. So, you're pretty standard fare ice physics here and falling platforms because, you know, why not? Here, we're just going to do a bit of a damage boost. Now here, if you fall from too high up, see how the baby changed into like a falling animation? Then you basically just fall to the ground and you're defenseless for a couple of frames there. So you want to avoid that. Even if you're in your falling animation, as long as you hit the enemies from above, you're good to go. Off. You know what? Let's just get some more lives. I was hoping to not game over, but I'll set my pride aside and save some time, potentially. It is deceptively hard. It looks a lot easier than it is. But like I said, it's also, like, the entry point is not as high as you would think, which makes it a good game to pick up, because the difficulty curve actually, I would say, kind of gets steeper alongside the runner, like, and that's unfortunate. That was the corner, the pixel. If you hit the corner pixel, you go through the platform. Obviously, all the stuff that doesn't happen to me in practice is happening right now. Alright. I'm gonna focus. So when you die, you do keep, if you pick up some hearts, you do keep the extra hearts, which essentially kind of gives you a little bit of an edge. How can you say something so controversial yet so brave? I feel like that targets specifically Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah, that happens sometimes. So, and here, actually, funny enough, if I kept going onto that platform I was on, the last one is a fake for some reason. I don't know if that's an oversight or just intentional, but yeah. All right. Three. So this one is a vertical level. Quite fun, actually. Big shout outs to Ice Climbers. And for some reason, the crabs from Super Mario Brothers just show up uninvited. And also, basically, it was the same in the water level. I just didn't really need to use it, but the levels always wrap around like that. Also, you got to be careful because as soon as the platforms get off screen, the bottom of the screen is it's a pit and it kills you. And if you wait too long on an enemy that blows up, it damages you also. You gotta be careful about that. Now, there is a pattern for this boss, and I'm completely not clear on, you know. So basically, he's gonna keep walking to the left and sliding, but while he's in his sliding animation, you cannot damage him. Okay, I got 2 in a row, that was good. I see. So that's basically what happens. Gonna slide twice. Yeah. I think this one requires 4 hits, so we should be good. Alright, so this one should be... There we go. Alright. World 4. There's 7 worlds in this game, by the way. We're almost at the halfway point. World 4, as you'll see, is pretty much... Somehow the baby ends up in a Konami pachinko machine. This level is quite reminiscent of... is it 4-4 in SMB1, where you have to take the right path, otherwise you keep wrapping around in the Bowser's castle? But here's the same thing. You have to follow a specific path for the level to kind of continue. And there are also some shortcuts in this one. I took a hit, but not too worried because there is a heart coming up real soon. Right here. Here, just want to wait a second, then jump. Oh. Come on. Alright, there we go. So as you jump, if you hold jump along the ceiling, you kind of float up there for a little bit. It's also something we use quite a bit this run. And Sir Bacon once again, our arch nemesis. There we go. Now, big shout outs to Stranger Things in the upcoming level, and you'll understand why. I just thought about that. Just realized I'm clever like that sometimes. It's the upside down. Surprisingly, it's not as off-putting as it looks like. So here I'm just gonna have to wait for the other guy to come in. Here a little bit. I'll just take here and cross over. Kind of like waiting for the bus, really. Now these guys are kind of like gonna have to wait for the next one down here. Sometimes they always appear at the same position, as in this case, because obviously you need it to get above that big platform. Some of these red platforms are actually falling platforms. I never remember which ones, so I just treat them all like they are. Come on. I'm gonna try again. All right, first hit. All right. Hey, we're getting somewhere. Yeah. It just, yeah, and that's the only level that's like that. Yep. And this one is also kind of flipped around, whereas the beginning of the stage has the boss. Wait just a little bit. All right, we got this. So if you time it right, the boss won't even get a chance to attack. And now we just gotta get to the end of the level. Alright, World 4 clear. And World 5 is somehow, I don't know why, but it's office supply world. Yeah, play hard, work hard, right? Oof. Here, I want to get this, otherwise I get... So, yeah, those pencils, they just drop bombs on you, basically. Yeah, I just need to scroll and try and get... Alright, alright. Hopefully it's going to take me far enough. Nope, come on. Okay, well... That is unfortunate, but we'll make do. There's a health refill. Other. So the platforms, as you can see, you know, there's a direction to them. It works from over and under. So what happened here is I tried to jump, but I got pushed back by the platform. Well, that's what I was supposed to do the first time around. Is it blue or glue? Yeah, but it looks like... right? Maybe this is all in Upa's head. You know, how well does a baby know how to spell? It could be. And blue is the best flavor, so... It's the best flavor, period. Anything that's blue just tastes better. It's just facts. Exactly. I don't make the food, I just eat it. Well, sometimes I'll make the food, but you get my point. Oh, got wombo comboed right there. So here, let's try... Alright. So here, you want him to go this way, then basically it's free, because the enemies will just bonk under that platform. And I said it's free, and then I kind of, you know... This happens. I'll fight 2, probably my favorite level of the game. Got some really nice tech to it. Got a really nice flow. The boss fight is a bit annoying, but other than that, it's a pretty solid level. That was intentional, actually, believe it or not. When I mentioned that the platform, it works from both over and under, well, that's a pretty prime example of that. And the pencils kind of break the flow, I find, of, you know, a good level, but here their spawn placement is actually good. You can just keep going. All right. So the intended way is to just be on the moving platforms down there and essentially just kind of diagonally shoots the enemies at the pig, but that's why I was jumping off the platform to give myself a little bit of leeway. If you land the first hit, then it's pretty easy to just get the quick kill on this one. And another water level. And those shrimp will hunt you down. But yeah, my theory is the baby's allergic, and they know. Yeah. Here I'm going to be able to get... You know what? So the top and middle platforms actually has a current that will basically just wreck you, and... Those shrimp are very tenacious. Like, they'll hunt you down. It's like Terminator shrimp, basically. And those are all spikes. So this is the... Clearly, one of the designers on this game played Mega Man before designed this level, and they were like, yeah, what is this level missing right now? Infinite spikes, and... Alright, let's hope for the best here. Not the most... Well, this boss has really wide movements and a really... you can tell that they're gonna shoot an enemy at you quite early on. I can do... That is... Yeah, I got lucky there. And we need some of that sometimes. Alright, go a little bit lower, please. Alright. Where are you going? Why did you go this way? And one more, and we are good to go. Alright. What? Alright, so. I apologize to anyone who actually runs this game. And this is Dairy World. There's butter everywhere. In my opinion, this world has the scariest platforming in the whole game. So here we're going to take the top path because there is actually a little block that's cleverly hidden here. Now we're going to start running. Now apparently, babies can run on melted butter. Another fact of life. Alright, this one. Come on. So here what I'm going to do, it's going to shoot the 3 enemies like it always does, but I'm going to wait and just let the first 2 fall to their death. Use the third one as a platform to just get on top and, you know, get up close and personal. Two and 3. And then you're like, oh, this is, yeah, it is. I know. That's the one thing. The first time I played this game and I see this, I'm like, that's bait. I'm gonna die opening that chest. Yeah, 100%. And here, another level now, you know, baby is probably not lactose intolerant. So the green mice are Terminator mice. They will hunt you down endlessly. So basically, obviously the speed strat is just to walk past them, but I'm actually just gonna farm another one up right here. Oh, there you go. I don't know if you have to eat a certain amount of cheese for it to spawn. That's interesting. And terrifying. But cheese is life. Not gonna argue that one. Yep. Nice. At first I thought it was mice. That would have been fitting. I wish. So here in this level, the first half is pretty straightforward, pretty chill, but then it becomes a cheap level. From both ways. And those puddings are, if you press jump when they're lowest, you'll bounce the highest. And here they'll keep coming at you from both ways, so you just gotta turn around, hit. Once you're here, though, you just keep pressing forward. Usually I don't get hit. So that red platform, it just ate my input. So you want to land on the right-hand side of that platform, be able to jump to the other one. Otherwise, you have to do the high bounce on that pudding, which it's difficult to get it perfectly and get the perfect placement to be able to go across that whole chasm, because it is a very large jump to make. All right. Nope, had to jinx myself, but That's that jump. You know when they say when pigs fly? Well, this is when. So it's gonna fart lightning every now and then it's just gonna spit out. I don't know what those are, but yeah. And you keep bouncing, so that fight is interesting. Easiest way is just to get him straight from underneath. Diagonal also works. Now, you don't get the reverse bounce, so it's... Alright, almost. 2 more hits. Come on, come on. Alright, 1 more. And it flashes just right before it does the lightning attack. Oh, there we go. Woo! World 7. Final world. Is going better than I expected at this point. So, this one is essentially the kind of level you want to memorize by heart. And now I'm probably, yeah, I'm not going to make it. But, you know, kind of jog my memory here. So you want to just fall as fast as you can. Avoid the platforms ideally. You want to be optimal about things. Now, here. Yeah. So there's a lot of spikes in that level. So here, basically... Ah, come on. I'm just a baby. Come on, game. You don't have to be so mean to me. All right. There we go. All right. Very nice. Great success. Seven, 2. So those guys, they just explode. You can't reason with them. They explode and they just send, like, they send shrapnel on a baby. Yep. That was probably the scariest part of the level. Here it's some precise platforming, but nothing too scary. In this case, you know, you're a baby, you don't know better. You step on all the Lego bricks. Yep. Come on. Alright, alright. Come on. Okay. 2, 3. Alright. Yeah, those are my blocks. Those are my... That baby's rich. That was a lot of money worth of Lego blocks in that world. So many bricks. So, big chasm here. I missed the first one, but then there's a second one that comes around. Not as scary as it looks, but then you want to, you know, kind of like avoid those guys right there. Come on. But it's okay. We got 5 hearts. We're in good shape. We're in good shape. Now, remember, there are shortcuts going through the ceiling, right? The levels. I'm not going to do it here. But if I damage boost on those spikes, and it looks like there would be something there, right? It brings you back to the beginning of the level. It really is. And when I was practicing, I forgot about that fact. I'm like, oh yeah, a shortcut. Alas, 'twas not. All right. Now this is basically the final. There's 2 more sections to this level. This one and another one. Now those elephants are actually a big pain. They follow you. Sometimes they throw things. The whole thing. All right. Come on. And this is the final section of the level. Then there's going to be a mini boss. And then the final boss of the game. And now final boss. And the game is generous enough to, you know, replenish our lives. This boss is quite literally the GOAT. I don't remember how many hits it takes, but and the level wraps around. It's also true for this boss fight. Come on. Come on. And from this way. I think it's sometimes you just gotta keep track of what's coming from around the screen. On. Come on. It's okay. You gotta watch. It also throws the lightning bolts. One. Okay. So I think they do 2 small jumps, 1 tall jump, and then... Oh yeah, and the lightning bolts go through the platforms. I just remembered that. Didn't die. Was fortunate. Alright, here, this guy. Here. Alright. There we go, that's time. Oh wait, no, that's not time. This is time. Give or take.
43.
Sub-estimate, damn.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm sorry.